Hello, cyber friends. This is Chatting Cyber, and I'm your host, Marc Schein. This podcast focuses on how companies can help qualify and quantify the cost of a data breach. Chatting Cyber features some of the most well-respected privacy and cyber experts in the world. Join the conversation with business leaders, government agencies, and cyber experts to learn more about how and why they got into this ever-changing field that we call cyber risk.
Hello, cyber colleagues. I'm Marc Schein, National Co-Chair of the Cyber Center of Excellence. And today we have a true cyber celebrity with us, Gideon Hazam. Thank you for joining, Gideon.
Thank you, Marc. Nice. Thank you for having me.
So let's jump right into it. Being one of the world's spoofing experts, how'd you get into it?
Yeah, it's a good point. Good question. So let me take you back 3 years back. So when we basically established Memcyco in that respect, before we start anything, we spend about 6 months visiting meetings with CISOs around the globe, with coming from different industries, sectors, being financials, logistics, airplanes, whatever the industry is. We met with them all, and we capture what are the main challenges that these CISO have when it comes to phishing attack on their brand.
Sure.
Okay, and we capture three major challenges that we discovered. The first one was how fast, how quick the brand can detect that there is a phishing attack on their customers. So if it is a bank, knowing how fast they can detect their customers, the customers of the bank being exposed to phishing attack on their behalf, right? So that was the first challenge. The second one was to know who are the end user, who are the customers of the bank being exposed, and thirdly, how can we protect them? So that was the foundation for us to develop our platform that essentially become very popular nowadays and being deployed and implemented across sectors and organizations around the globe.
Right. So maybe you can help us draw the connection, if there is one, between spoofing and phishing.
So phishing is basically the platform to conduct account takeover in one hand. So I will build a phishing site in order to, harvest as many credentials possible of anyone, right? And secondly, I can use phishing to steal money. Simple as that, right? I can, make you pay something, and basically it's going to be paid to me and not to anyone else. So money stealing and credential stealing, that's the phishing platform for this. Spoofing is the technique, right? So we are using spoofing tools that basically creating or generating this phishing site. So I can use spoofer tools to generate on-the-fly spoofing attack or phishing attack, or I can use cloning approach, which I'm going to clone and copy your site and build a phishing site based on this. So either way, that's a phishing attack. Spoofing is the technique.
Now, are there certain industries or verticals that are more susceptible to these kind of spoofing attacks?
So the interesting part is that any firm, any organization that has online presence, right, which require interaction between end user and customer, right, any interaction like this is, let's say, a target for the hackers, because if they can use their tools to harvest credentials, that would be, anywhere on each industry, on each sector or whatever. So it's crossing all industries, all organizations. Obviously, financial and anything related to money, it's more vulnerable and more targeted, because this is where hackers can maybe, steal money, They can manipulate customers and change money transfer and so on. So anything related to financial is even more targeted.
So can you tell us maybe a little bit more about the three windows of exposure with regards to website spoofing?
Yeah, that's a good point, because this is something that people sometimes tend to not really capture the full picture. So let's look at what is the life cycle of phishing attack. Okay, it starts with building the phishing site. So I now have a phishing site up and running. Okay, this phishing site is now detected through whatever system, right? Once detected, the next step would be, or the ultimate goal is to take it down, right? Because the longest this site is up and running, that's the impact on my business, as an example. So detection and takedown, those are the two major points. But takedown may take days, may take weeks, sometimes it take even longer. And until the point that this site is down, the customers, the end users are still exposed.
Sure.
So this is this is the window of exposure, because this is where solution in this market need to detect the end users and protect them within this window of exposure. So that's one part. The other part is that once the phishing site was taken down, the attack itself is not over, because the credentials that were harvested are still out there, and someone is going to exploit this or to compromise them. And how you can detect this, how you protect this, this is a big challenge, and definitely it's still a threat to the organization.
Do you see, looking forward, if the crystal ball expression, right? Do you see spoofing becoming more of a problem for corporations, or is this going to be something that's scaled back?
Definitely it will, and I'll tell you why. For two major reasons, right? From the COVID period, the world changed in terms of the working behavior. We all turned to be hybrid, and we are working online or doing things online. So the more online activities become, the more spoofing attack will be there, right? Because this is a huge surface for attackers to exploit this situation. That's one. The second part is that the number of tools, spoofing tools, exist today in the market are numerous. It's amazing how easy and how fast you can create an imposter site, even without being a hacker, without knowing anything about cyber. I can use now a tool. I'm going to push a button, and few minutes after, I'm going to have a phishing site which is targeting specific company.
Sure.
And after 3 days, it's going to turn to another domain or another company. So it's very easy. And the more easy it is, the more attack you will have.
Yeah, I really appreciate you coming on and sharing your thoughts. I mean, it's been a really fascinating conversation, given, your experience and what y'all are doing. Before I let you go, is there anything that I should have asked you that I didn't get to ask you?
I think that one of the things that we also seeing as a big challenge today in the market is how we provide anyone the authentication that when he visits a site, he is on the right side and not on the imposter one,
Sure.
right? And providing this authentication, it's a challenge by itself, and there are companies that have solutions like that, like ours. But in general speaking, authentication is going to be one of the major challenges, because everyone can be fooled around and tricked that they are visiting a real site, but eventually they are visiting the wrong site. So that's it.
And if they wanted to reach out to you, how's the best way to contact you? Is it phone call, LinkedIn, Twitter, website?
Just visit memcyco.com. Memcyco stands for Memco Cyber Corporation. So memcyco.com. Just drop us a message and we will reach back.
Excellent. Well, thanks for coming on the show and chatting cyber with us.
Thank you very much, Mark.